Hi yogis, welcome to my channel. My name is Kassandra and today we're doing a Chakra Yin Yoga class. I put out a Chakra Yin Yoga class about a year ago and you guys really loved it. So today's practice will be similar in the sense that we'll be doing one Yin Yoga asana for each chakra, moving through them from the root all the way to the crown of the head. However, instead of having the intention to balance out these chakras, this is really a practice for emotional healing. So if you've been struggling with an issue, a conflict, or a trauma that you'd like to integrate, find a resolution to, or really just heal from, we're going to use the wisdom of the chakras in order to do that. So I will ask that you have a journal somewhere close by. You will most likely want to write things down either throughout the practice or when we're done, and definitely have lots of props. So some of the poses that we'll be doing will be a little bit more intermediate, so some deeper hip openers. However, I will give you lots of different kinds of modifications if you need to modify the pose for any reason, but at least 2 blocks is always a good idea to have. So if you're not really familiar with the theory of chakras, just come into this practice with an open mind. Really, I like to use chakras as metaphors. They're a great way for us to practice shadow work and to really gain a little bit of insight on any issues, any stagnant, stuck energy, anything that isn't really resolved. It's just a great way to get a little bit more wisdom, insight, and clarity so that we can heal on an emotional as well as on a physical level. So let's begin by sitting in any way that is comfortable to you. We'll just start with a bit of a meditation. Because this is with the intention of emotional healing, I'm going to ask you to really get clear on what it is that you'd like to heal today. So what needs a little bit more love, a little bit more integration, and a little bit more attention and awareness. So sitting up in any way that works for you, you can close the eyes and try to align the spine so you're not leaning forwards or backwards. You're softening the shoulders down and away from the ears, and let your arms rest by your sides. Soften your facial muscles and start connecting to your breath, slow and steady, in and out through the nose. And start to ask yourself, what is it that you would like a little bit more guidance and insight on? What is something that needs a little bit of healing within you? And this can be a difficult relationship with someone else. It can be a habit that you're trying to break. It can be a previous trauma that you can't seem to let go of or integrate. Imagine you can send your breath directly into your heart and just ask yourself, what do you want to heal? So this practice is not about tuning out all of our thoughts. We want this practice to be thought-provoking. We want to get things unstuck, to get the energy moving again, and we want to heal. So while we don't want to get distracted in unrelated stories in our mind, we do want to stay present and open to whatever might arise within you throughout this practice. A color, a feeling, a sensation, a thought. Just be open to it. It could be some form of insight or wisdom that you're getting. Staying for a few more minutes here in silence, just ask yourself clearly, what do you want to heal from? Keep breathing into your heart. What is it that you want to heal? And how will this practice benefit you in this healing? So hopefully you have the issue, the conflict, the pain, the trauma, whatever it is that you want to focus on for this class. If you don't have it quite yet, you can pause the video, but otherwise, let's set our intention. Chant of Om one time. Bring your hands together at the heart, bow in, and we'll inhale to chant. Breathe. Gently blinking the eyes open. Let's take our first pose for the root chakra, which will be half butterfly. So you can extend your right leg out to the side and keep your left foot to the inside of that right thigh and open the legs out as wide as you can here. So the root chakra is right at the base of the tailbone and it's associated with the vibrant color red. So as you bring the left foot in towards the inner groin and the right leg extended, I'm gonna walk the hands forward, and as you tilt from the pelvis, we're gonna come straight down into a forward fold. At home, you're welcome to make this more of a forward fold over towards your right leg if that feels a little bit better. And you can also have your blocks somewhere close by so that you can prop yourself up in a way that is comfortable for you. So get yourself settled in the shape where you feel enough sensation, but not so much that it's hard to hold the pose. We always want to be able to relax in these asanas. Now, keeping this issue or whatever it is that you want to heal within you, how can you apply the wisdom of the root chakra to that trauma, to that issue? So the wisdom of our root chakra tells us that we are safe, we are protected, we are okay, and that it's okay to let our guard down. This energy center is very much tied down to our relationships with friends and family, our relationship with financial security and with the material world around us, to our sense of belonging, of safety, of abundance. So when it's unbalanced, we might not trust others, we might close ourselves off, we might feel threatened and afraid. But the wisdom of it tells you that you are safe, you are taken care of, you do belong. So how would this wisdom help you with whatever it is you want to heal from? And you may choose to repeat affirmations to yourself as you hold the pose. I am safe. I am protected. I belong. And start to walk your hands back in, lifting the chest. Take your time. And we'll move over to the other side. So you can bend your right knee and extend your left leg out. You might want to make some notes in your journal if anything came up for you, if there was any insight, any thoughts, feelings, or sensations. And whenever you're ready, we'll go and do the same thing over. So the left knee and the toes are pointing up. The right foot is in towards the inner groin. And then you can tilt forward from the pelvis, walk your hands forward, and make your way down into the fold. Don't worry about having your left leg perfectly straight. It might need to bend a little bit. And once you find your way into the pose, close your eyes and see if you can visualize that jewel, that big ruby right at the base of the tailbone, shining red and bright, infusing its healing energy within you. And I like to imagine that I can breathe directly into that energy center, directly into that chakra, making it grow and glow even brighter with every inhale. So how would safety, protection, and belonging help you heal? How would this change the way you relate to whatever issue it is you're going through right now? How would this help? And let's ease our way up. Take your time. Bending the left knee and bringing the foot in. So we'll be moving now to the sacral chakra, so the space between the navel and between the pubic bone, so just right in the low belly. And sacral chakra is really the seat of our creative power and our sexual healing and potential, our ability to make something out of nothing. And the asana that we'll be coming into is swan or a pigeon pose. So I'm actually just going to turn around and face this side. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist and extend your left leg back behind you. And as you extend that left leg, notice if you're shifting your weight onto one side completely. Try to keep it evenly distributed. And you may want to prop yourself up with a block here underneath the hips, since we'll be here for a few minutes. Otherwise, you can walk the hands forward, maybe put a block under your chest or under the forehead, or you can just use your hands or a blanket and let yourself melt down into the pose. So this chakra is orange. It's associated with the element of water. It is fluid, it is creative, it is nurturing, and it's also extremely powerful. We tend to think of water as just quiet streams, but water can be incredibly powerful and even destructive. And the sacral chakra is all about sexual healing, sexual liberation, imagination, and creativity. How could you apply the wisdom of this chakra to whatever it is you need to heal from? How would it help for you to be in touch with your sexuality and sensuality in an empowered way? How would it help for you to know that you are infinitely creative, without limits, that you have the ability to make something out of nothing? This is the power of your rebirth. Your ability to tear everything down and start all over again. Your ability to connect with people on a deeper level, to create true intimacy in your relationships. How would this serve you? Let's ease our way out of the pose. Walk your hands in, make your way to a tabletop stance onto all fours, and just stretch your right leg out in any way that you need to here, however feels good. Keep your breath fluid. And then we'll make our way over to the second side. So this time you'd be bringing your left knee behind your left wrist. Right leg extends back behind you, and just level out the pelvis here. So sacral chakra is all about the pelvis. We want to make sure that even in our physical poses, we're finding balance here. So you might want to put a block underneath you. You can keep some weight pressing down onto that right hip, and then ease your way down into the fold, just like you did on the first side. And see if you can imagine that vivid orange light. And breathing directly into it, sending all of your loving energy to that spot. And letting it overflow. Healing you from the inside out. And remain open to whatever thoughts, feelings, or sensations come up within you. Simply be aware of them. And be a little curious. What's the message there? How does this serve you in your emotional healing? What are the patterns that keep repeating? Let's come out of the pose. And back into tabletop pose, just like we did after the first side. And move in any way that feels good here. So as we move up the chakras, the next one is the solar plexus chakra, right at the center of the abdomen, above the navel, below the heart. And we're gonna come to take a seat, and I'll give you guys an option here. So first option, what I'll be doing is square pose with a twist. So because we are working this part of the body, I like to incorporate twists whenever I can. I find that that targets the area the best. So pose that I'll be doing is square, which means that you're stacking one shin on top of the other. So with both feet flexed, we're trying to stack the right ankle over the left knee and the right knee over the left ankle. So if I look down, there's a little triangle shape, and the legs might be lifted a little bit further up from each other. That's perfectly fine. Or you might be able to keep the shins close together. So if this works, you're gonna hold this pose. If this is way too much for the low back and too much for the hips, you're just gonna take a regular seat, sitting cross-legged with your right shin slightly in front of the left one. And then when we do the other side, you'll simply switch and you'll be bringing your left leg in front of the right one. So choose the option that you'd like. Definitely have some props close by. Right shin over the top of the left, and really flex your right foot here. So you want both feet firmly flexed. This will help protect your knee. And as you sit up tall, start to rotate your chest so you're looking over towards your right foot and towards your right ankle. We're going to initiate the fold from here. So still keeping a block nice and close. You can walk your hands, and you can even put your elbow to the inside of that right foot to twist even deeper, or you can have it off to the side and just fold in. I like to have the block underneath the forehead so that I don't really have to strain my neck too much. So solar plexus chakra is yellow, and it's under the heart above the navel. And this is the seat of your confidence and the seat of your self-esteem. So thinking over this issue or whatever it is that you're trying to heal, how would things change for you if you were really sure of yourself, really confident? If you believed in what you stood for, if you knew that you mattered, if you felt like you belonged, and that even if you didn't really belong, it was okay. There was nothing wrong with you. How would things change for you if you were comfortable with your uniqueness? If you were truly able to embrace your power and your strength? So what is the wisdom of this chakra that you need to focus on and infuse into your life? How could the power of this chakra heal you, benefit you? And bring a little bit more strength into your arms. Carefully lift up. And before we change the cross of the legs or do square on the other side, just let your feet come flat down to the ground and do a little windshield wiper motion with the knees going from one side to the next. Releasing the low back. And we'll do the pose over on the other side. So if you're just doing this cross-legged, just change the cross of the legs so you would have your left shin in front of the right one. Or if you are doing square pose, you're gonna flex both feet and try to stack your left ankle over your right knee and your left knee directly on top of your right ankle. So both sit bones are anchored down to the mat. You can lift up nice and tall from the spine, maybe move your props over to the other side. And then we're gonna rotate the rib cage. So the ribs move over in the direction of your left foot. And then you can walk your hands out and move into the fold. Try to keep your left hip grounded as much as possible. The more you fold, the more it's gonna wanna lift off the floor. So in these asanas, we're never trying to go to our full range of motion right away. Instead, you wanna back off a little bit so that your body can naturally soften, naturally start to open. Otherwise, we may risk going a little bit too far and injuring ourselves. And bringing your awareness back to this area of the third chakra, the solar plexus. Can you imagine it growing, glowing brighter with every inhale? So vibrant yellow like the sun, pulsing and radiating throughout you, throughout your body. Relax your shoulders, the chest, and the arms. Just breathe into the center of your being, the center of your core. Growing stronger and more self-assured while still staying humble with every breath. Let's come up. And you can do that windshield wiper motion again with the knees. Just whatever helps you release from this pose. Deep twist and a deep hip opener. And so now we'll be moving up to the heart chakra. And we're gonna slide on our bellies for Sphinx pose. Keep a block somewhere close by. We're gonna need it once we go up to the throat chakra. but slide onto your belly. I'm gonna face this way. Extend your legs out behind you. Bring your forearms down to the mat, about shoulder width distance apart, and press down into the tops of your feet to lift up through the chest and pull the head of the arm bones back. So drawing the shoulders down and away from the ears, and lengthen out through the chest. So the heart chakra is green, and it is exactly where your heart would be. And Sphinx pose gives us a really wonderful opportunity to breathe into the heart space. So on the inhale, feel the rib cage expand front to back and side to side. And the wisdom of this chakra is all about loving ourselves and loving others. It's about breaking down the barriers between us and them. And it truly is about compassion. So how would love and compassion facilitate your emotional healing? What would it change for you in this difficult situation if you can incorporate a little bit more love for yourself and for others, a little bit more compassion? If you could remove the egoic perspective and change to a different perspective, a more encompassing, more caring perspective. And the truly balanced heart chakra is open. And it doesn't mean that it's never been hurt before, that it's never been damaged, and that it's perfect. But it is resilient. So it is able to take those hardships, those disappointments, those past hurts, and the heart chakra is able to transmute that pain into wisdom, into love, into learning, and into growth. How can this chakra help you heal from your pain? And release all the way down to the floor. And we're actually just going to roll over onto our backs for the next pose as we move up to the throat chakra. So we'll be coming into waterfall pose. So grabbing a hold of your block. You can also use a bolster if you prefer. We're just gonna prop the block underneath the hips. And I like to keep it on the second level so the hips are pretty high, but if that's too much, you can always keep it just on the first level. That will work too. So get the block somewhere that is comfortable to you. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears And already, just like this, that might be enough. We have our hips higher than the heart and the heart higher than the throat. So we're really sending a lot of blood flow to the throat, which is the chakra that we're trying to target. If you'd like, you can also extend the legs straight up. And the legs really don't need to be perfectly straight for this. You can keep them as bent as you need to. Relax your arms by your side and close your eyes. So the throat chakra is clear blue in color. And this is your ability to speak up for yourself, to let your voice be heard, to set clear boundaries with others. But it's also your ability to be a better listener, to use nonverbal communication effectively, and to really attune yourself to others. So how would this chakra, vibrant and healthy, how would it benefit your healing? How would this conflict or this pain be soothed by voicing what's wrong, by communicating clearly with others, or by giving other people the opportunity to speak their own truths and their own feelings? How can the throat chakra help you heal from your pain? In what ways do you need to speak up more? And in what ways do you need to listen more? Feel the weight and the pressure and the breath and the blood all around the area of your throat. Breathe into it. Soften everything else. Your arms, your legs, your head. Let it go and be open to receiving. If you had your legs extended, start to bend the knees until the feet come flat down to the mat. And we'll be moving to the third eye chakra, so right at the brow, right in the middle here. And one good pose for this one is an easy child's pose with the forehead or the third eye pressing down on the mat. So you can roll over to the side. And I like to keep the knees pretty close in towards one another. Big toes are touching, and you can let your hips sit back over onto your heels and then fold in with your arms by your side and just let your forehead rest. So you're making that connection of the third eye to the ground. And the third eye is a deep indigo color. And this is such a powerful energy center. This is your ability to use intuition and imagination. So for example, if you're in conflict with someone, the clear third eye chakra is what will allow you to see a conflict from a different perspective. It's also your ability to see what was once your opponent as your friend. And the ability to stay open to intuition and insight is a really powerful way to heal from pain. So how would imagination serve you in your healing? How would looking at things from a different perspective help you? This clear third eye is what allows you to come up with a situation and a solution to a problem where before you were stuck and just could not find a way out. Your intuition and your imagination shows you a different way. It takes you beyond the limits and the restrictions of your circumstances, of the burdens of whatever it is that you're going through right now. Visualize the deep blue breathe directly into that spot. How can the wisdom of the third eye help you heal? Bring your arms out in front of you and start to lift back up. So for the last chakra, right at the crown of the head, we're going to take Svadhisthana, our final resting pose. So you can extend out through the legs and the feet, take up some space and get really comfortable here. So this chakra is quite personal. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. And you can either visualize this one as a bright white light, or you might prefer to visualize it as a deep purple. This is your connection to your higher self. This is where you receive insight and divine guidance. So for this chakra, I would ask you to simply ask a question to your higher self and be open to the answer. And it might be as simple as, how can I heal from this pain? Thinking back to this original issue, conflict, or trauma that you really wanted to move through and work on. Ask your higher self, what is the next step? What is the way forward? So we want to get out of our own way, basically, and surrender. So this pose, Shavasana, is an act of surrendering to what is and being open to something else, to something new, something greater than ourselves. Being open to receiving this guidance from this part of us that is connected to the greater whole, that is not so tied down to this material world and to our physical circumstances. That part of us that is infinite, that is all loving and truly connected. And visualize either this bright white light or the deep purple glow. And as you get really quiet, just ask, how can I heal? And be open to the messages that come through to you. And staying in Shavasana, let's visualize all the chakras again, one by one, fully integrating our practice. Bring your awareness to the root chakra at the base of your spine, glowing red. You are protected and safe. You belong. Move up to the sacral chakra, orange, in the low belly. You are creative, and you are tapped in to your sensuality and your sexual power, to your imagination. Move up to the solar plexus, bright yellow. Your confidence, your self-esteem, your sense of power and strength, your deservability. Moving up to the heart, green. Deep love for yourself and others. Love and compassion that knows no bounds, that is all-encompassing. Moving up to the throat chakra, blue. The power of your voice, the ability to speak your truth, and deep listening. The third eye chakra, deep indigo. The power of your imagination, your intuition. Up to the crown, white or deep purple. The connection to your higher self. The surrendering. The divine guidance. Take a deep breath into all 7 chakras. In through the nose, fill up, and out the mouth. Bring a little movement back to the fingers and toes and turn your head side to side. Reach your arms up overhead. Take a great big stretch as if you were just waking up in the morning. And we'll come up to take a seat so that we close our practice the same way we started it, with a grounding meditation. You can close your eyes, sit up nice and tall, and rest your hands onto your knees. And one last time, bring whatever it is that you wanted to heal from at the forefront of your mind. And given the wisdom that you've collected from each of these energy centers, let's bring our hands together at the front of the heart, and we'll close off this deep, powerful practice with the chant of Om one time. Inhale to chant. Om. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for doing this emotional healing chakra yin yoga practice with me. I do recommend grabbing your notebook, your journal, really anything. And while this is all fresh, not only in your mind, but in your heart and in the very cells of your being, put it down on paper. Try not to let your pen come off the page too much. Don't overanalyze, don't think, just keep writing. Write everything down. The feelings, the thoughts, the sensations, the awareness, the frustration, the anger, the sadness, whatever it is, don't judge it, don't label it, just get it out on paper. And in a few hours or in a few days, maybe you'll be ready to go back to that journaling exercise, reread it, and really truly digest it. It might not make a whole lot of sense right now, but you most likely have some deep nuggets of wisdom that you are able to really put onto paper. And this is really what's going to facilitate your healing and facilitate conflict resolution and facilitate your well-being. If you enjoyed this practice, please do subscribe to my channel. It is a free way to help support yoga on the internet, free yoga here on YouTube. If you would like more chakra yoga classes, chakra yin yoga classes, please let me know. Leave me a comment below. I've been thinking of maybe doing a series where I can do one yoga class for each chakra. So really kind of diving deep into the chakras one at a time. If that's something you'd be interested, please let me know. Like this video, leave me a comment, and definitely just go journal. Stay in this space of clarity and get it all out. I hope this has been beneficial for you. It is a true joy for me to be able to share these practices with you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.